Welcome to the Growing in Business interview series. I'm your host, Fleming Johnson, and today I'm joined by Josh Young, who is Executive Director at Hydrating Humanity. Josh, thank you so much for joining us. Would you like to
Appreciate
kick
it.
us off with a brief background as to who you are and what you do?
Sure. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to our discussion today. Again, my name is Josh Young, Executive Director of Hydrating Humanity. Hydrating Humanity is a nonprofit organization providing safe, clean water, hygiene education, and hope for people in East Africa. We started in 2005. And what we focused on in terms of our spearhead into these communities is drilling wells and hygiene education. Uh, so we have a team in Africa on the ground doing the work there in terms of drilling the wells. I work on the US side, so I'm in charge of the day-to-day operations here in the US. We also have an international director that is in charge of a team of over 20 team members in Kenya and Tanzania. And we also have our founder who is also engaged here, mostly on the US side.
Very good. Tell me, what inspired you to start your own business, and what was that initial spark that led you to take the entrepreneurial leap?
And I think for most people, when you start to gain some experience and you start to mix experience with passion, I think everyone probably goes through a dreaming process of what it would it look like, to work for myself, to launch something, to be and start and do something meaningful that it's our own. And I feel really fortunate. For me personally, our nonprofit in this endeavor in East Africa has been not just me, it's been a team effort. And I think questions that I was asking myself is, how do I make a difference? How do I make an impact larger than myself? And once you start asking those questions, you start exploring what that could look like. And I think people in kind of, I guess, the marketplace, secular business, not just nonprofit or uh, really any industry, you can start asking those type of questions: is how I can make impact in the market, or on behalf of others. You're really serving a need, both in business and what we're doing in terms of helping people get access to clean water. So those questions kind of led to digging in, dreaming, asking myself what it could look like, and was fortunate to meet other people that had a similar frame of mind to really just get in and start doing something.
Good. What are some common misconceptions about running a business, and how do you address them?
I think a lot of misconceptions. The first and foremost is that you have to have it all figured out before you start. That's a big one. I think most people die on the vine of planning instead of jumping in and taking action. So for any entrepreneur, I think there's got to be a mix. You certainly don't want to start too early, but I would say more of the misconception is having it all figured out, because there's certain things that you're just going to learn by doing. So that would be one for me. The other, and again, as I mentioned, I'm fortunate to be inside a great team and being a member of a great team, is that you can't do it by yourself. You really do need others, whether it's mentors, whether it's teammates. This is a tough, anytime you start a business, anytime you go out on your own, it is tough. And so having key partners, key mentors, is uh, is definitely gonna be a make or break for success. So misconception too would be that you have to do it alone.
How do you maintain a work-life balance as a business owner and business leader? Do you have any personal rituals or habits that keep you motivated and focused?
That's a good question. I think different seasons in life have met different boundaries. I have 5 children, and so family is important to me, but so is the responsibilities that I have. So again, speaking to seasons, it can look different at different times, and I've always made a priority to get up early, have some focused time, um, whether it's meditation or prayer. For me, it's prayer, getting some alone time. It's maintaining a uh, a lifestyle of health. So it's getting a workout in. It is also uh, making sure that you're taking the time to spend with family. So I think priorities and boundaries are going to be key for any entrepreneur, really for anyone in general, but especially when you set the pen down, so to speak, or shut the computer off, that you have to be focused on those things and be intentional. I think being intentional is probably one of the most important um, things you can do in terms of your time. So when it's time to be intentional with your family, then you got to be intentional. You'll be surprised how those focused efforts or focused times with family and kids, how far that goes versus being distracted. So
In the constantly evolving business landscape, how do you stay adaptable and open to change? Are there any specific strategies that you use to remain innovative?
well, for me, it's the desire to be a constant learner. So I'm constantly reading, searching out new platforms, technology, better ways to communicate, ways to improve. I think it's a lifelong pursuit of staying engaged, and that can be everything from technology. Of course, getting older, I want to make sure that I'm staying up to date on technology and how I can connect with others around the world, tell our story. But to say all that, to me, it does really just focus in on having a desire to grow and learn, um, and that certainly keep things fresh. It keeps things interesting, and hopefully keeps me in a position to be relevant and sharp.
So now could you offer a glimpse into future plans and goals for your business? What do you envision for the next chapter of your entrepreneurial journey?
Good question. Hydrating humanity exists because over 700 million people on the planet don't have access to safe, clean water. I mean, there's about 1 million people a year that die from waterborne diseases. If you haven't had the opportunity to travel to a developing nation context, those stats would be really hard to believe. I mean, there's still cholera, dysentery, around 400,000 kids die every year under the age of 5 because of these issues. So for us, we're trying to address that. And I think we've been born for such a time as this. I mean, taking on challenges and problems like this in the world, I do feel like we have an opportunity in this lifetime to eradicate the waterborne disease crisis. Thankfully, there's other organizations, there's other people, and collaboratively, I feel like we can do that. For us, it's micro goals and then macro. So micro is we're really trying to transform regions in East Africa, one at a time. And so near term goals for us is to help 79 more schools full of kids in East Africa, the Maasai people, which is in the Transmara area of Kenya, get a clean water well. And so if we really answer that question, solve that problem, and begin to scale, that would turn more into a macro goal. But in terms of myself and the organization, I think for me personally, I'm always going to be engaged one way or the other, whether it's clean water issues or if we help solve that issue in other issues around the globe and helping make a difference. So that's what we're focused on at this point. It's a huge goal. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say that flippantly. I mean, this is a huge goal, and so we'll be endeavoring here for at least the time to come in this role and in this function.
What advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs who are either just starting their journey or facing challenges in their businesses?
I think it goes back to something I said a little bit earlier. Is if you're considering, if you put together your plan, then three is taking action. And so getting off the starting block is something that has to happen. And so, um, taking action, and I said this earlier too, finding mentors and other people that have gone before you and seeing how they can help is going to be critical to your long-term success. Uh, Most people don't recreate the wheel. Most people are solving a similar problem in a unique way. And so finding out what those differences are and how you can help solve a problem are going to be key to your business being successful. And so finding people again that have addressed a portion of that, that have more wisdom, that have been in it before you, I can't stress that enough. Go find them, ask the tough questions, seek out wisdom, and that's going to put you at a much greater percentage of being successful in your own business.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for your time today, Josh. It was great to meet you and learn about your entrepreneurial journey.
Appreciate it, Fleming. Thanks. Enjoyed it.
And to everyone watching, I look forward to seeing you in our next episode.